Hi, my name is Grant Connolly and I'm the creator of the ZPoint Process. What I'd like to do today is to give you a general idea of how the process works and install the healing program, assign a keyword, and give you some basic information that you'll need to get the best out of the process for yourself. The first thing I want to talk about is thoughts. Now, we all think several thousand thoughts in a day. And every time we think a thought, that thought is connected to a corresponding emotion. If the thought is an empowering one, the emotion that we feel is good. And the decisions that flow from those thoughts are positive ones. They're decisions of, yes, I can do this, I'm a good person, whatever. If, on the other hand, we have a thought and that thought is a thought of restriction in any way, there's usually a corresponding emotion that feels bad when you think it. And what happens is that any decisions that you make about your life from that thought, per se, and that feeling that you feel when you have that thought, tend to be restrictive. So, for example, if you're thinking of doing something that you really want to do and you have a thought that feels bad when you think it, or your mind goes back to an incident of a long time ago, from a long time ago, and it feels bad when you think it, you will tend to make decisions based on that thought of restriction. And you won't do the things that you really want to do. And you won't enjoy your life to the fullest. So what the ZPoint process does is it recognizes that you have thoughts, you have emotions, and that when those emotions don't feel good, that you can sever the connection between the emotion and the thought. And what happens is that emotion that doesn't feel good, it literally goes away, it disappears. And the thought that's connected to that emotion, if it's one of disempowerment, it will literally just fall away because there's no longer a power source to power that particular thought or that belief. So that's what we do with the process. We sever the connection between a disempowering thought and the emotion that goes along with it. We make the emotion go away, literally, it just falls away, and the belief or thought behind it transforms itself. From the inside, it transforms itself and becomes a thought of I can rather than I can't. The first thing I'd like to do is install the healing program. And that goes as follows. I hereby set a powerful intention within you, my subconscious mind, to effect the best of all possible outcomes by this clearing. And that each time I notice a pattern or patterns I wish to eliminate as I say or think my cue word, you will eliminate all such patterns and components of patterns completely and safely. And each time I say my cue word in sequence, you will access deeper and deeper layers and all parts and all aspects of my being. Now, we never need to refer to that again. Once you've heard it or once you've read it, that's it. It's good for the rest of your life. Now, the only other thing you need to do is to use a cue word. Now, typically, cue words are words that have no meaning necessarily. They're just sounds. And what they are is a trigger for the healing program. And when we notice ourselves feeling uncomfortable in any way, or when we notice that there's a behavior pattern that we wish to release, we simply focus on that pattern or that emotion and repeat our cue word in sequence. Now, for example, my cue word is Shazam. So I use the word Shazam by saying it to myself as an example. If I'm feeling angry or upset, I focus on that anger and I say to myself, I clear all the ways that I'm feeling this anger. And I simply repeat my cue word to myself like this. Shazam, 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 Shazam. Shazam, 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 Shazam. And each time I say that cue word to myself, it activates the healing program and goes deeper and deeper and deeper into my unconscious self. And that's where all the patterns and emotions really are stored. Now, I've heard it said that about 95% of who we are is stored or comes from our unconscious self, our subconscious mind. So if you can think of us as an iceberg that has only 5% of its mass above the waterline, that's who we are. And quite often we all go through life and we think that we're acting in conscious ways when in fact we're not. And this 95% of us is really in charge of most of our lives. And the idea here is to be as conscious as possible in our lives. That when we make a decision, we're making a decision based on what we want in the moment, rather than what this 95% of us below the waterline says it wants for itself. Now, these feelings, these emotions and patterns that are stored below the waterline, as it were, these are formed primarily in our infancy. And perhaps a brief explanation of that would be in order. I recall not too long ago I listened to a radio program, and the fellow who was being interviewed was saying that they had hooked children up to electroencephalographs, and what they discovered was that most children between the age of 0 and 6 are walking around in a trance state. And what that means in a practical way is that they are accepting everything that they're being told uncritically. Every word, every sentence, everything that they see on television, things that they hear from their parents, from authority figures, they're taking directly into themselves, and they're not questioning it. They're accepting it as fact. Now, if you think about that for a moment, you can see that in your own life, you have accepted a lot of things that aren't true. They are literally not true. But you just don't question them because they're there, and these unconscious patterns in that 95% that's below the waterline are literally making the decisions for you in your life. Now, I know for myself that I want to make my own decisions. I don't want to rely on how I was when I was, say, 4 or 5 years old to determine the outcome of decisions that I make today. I want to decide for myself. Now, I think the outcome of using this process is to go in when you're feeling uncomfortable about something and going back to this feeling connected to the thought. When you release a thought that doesn't feel good when you think of it, what you're doing is going into that part that's below the waterline, as it were, and you're letting it go. Now, if you can imagine that iceberg suddenly just coming up a little bit as you do this. And what happens is, literally, bit by bit by bit, you are bringing yourself out of the water into conscious awareness. So as you use the process, you are becoming more conscious, more aware, and more able to make decisions based on what you want right now, rather than what that little person that you were says that you need to do. Okay? Okay, what I'd like to do now is show you how to actually release an emotion. Now, let's use an example. You're driving in your car and someone cuts you off. The first reaction that you have is to become angry. So if instead of responding in an angry way and perhaps doing the same thing to someone else behind you, if you were to focus on how you feel, you would say a statement to yourself like this: I clear all the ways that I'm feeling angry. And then you would simply repeat your cue word to yourself. Shazam, 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 Shazam. And you would continue. And basically there's a little script to this which you can download from my website, ZPointProcess.com. I clear all the ways that I'm feeling angry because Shazam, 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 Shazam. Now you'll notice that I simply said because, and I didn't fill in the spaces there. Our unconscious or subconscious mind is a marvelous instrument. And when you say a statement and leave the ending blank, your subconscious mind will literally fill in all the becauses for you. So let me go over that again. I clear all the ways that I'm feeling angry because. And then you would simply repeat your cue word to yourself, knowing and trusting that your unconscious or subconscious mind is going to fill in all the becauses for you and simply release them all. I clear all the ways I'm feeling angry because it does the job for us. The next line would be, I clear all the ways I'm feeling angry whenever. ... We leave the ending blank so the unconscious or subconscious mind can simply fill in those blanks for us. All we have to do is repeat our cue word. Shazam, 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 Shazam. Okay? The next line would be, I clear all the ways I feel angry if, again, leaving it blank and understanding that if this happens or that happens or this circumstance comes up, I feel angry, the unconscious will simply release it with our saying our cue word. Shazam, 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 Shazam. The next statement would be, I clear all the ways hidden and other parts of me don't want to release this anger. Shazam, 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 Shazam. Now I want you to think that and understand that there are different aspects of us at any given time. And quite often when we resist letting something go, when there's an aspect or part of us that doesn't want to let things go, what it is a part of us that literally is frozen in time back when we were 3 years old, 4 years old, whatever, and it's saying, I don't want to let this go. So this particular little statement takes care of that. I'll repeat it. I clear all the ways hidden and other parts of me don't want to let this anger go. Shazam, 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 Shazam. I clear all the ways these parts don't want to let this anger go because Shazam, 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 Shazam. I clear all the ways these parts get a benefit from holding on to this anger. Shazam, 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 Shazam. I clear all the ways these parts wouldn't feel safe if I let this anger go right now. Shazam, 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 Shazam. Then you take a breath and just let it go. And when you check in with yourself again, after you've done this, after you've gone through these statements, and they're not difficult to learn, after you've gone through these statements, that anger will be gone, literally gone. And if it's not, you simply go through it again. It just takes a minute or two. And you release that anger. And then what's going to happen is next time you're in a situation where someone cuts in front of you in traffic, you won't be upset. There's no longer a trigger there to cause you to get angry. You just say to yourself, well, he's having a hard day. And continue on your day. And it doesn't start a cascade of angry thoughts going through your mind that causes you to have a bad day. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is a specific ZPoint statement. And it incorporates the idea that when we have a thought and it's connected to an emotion, and that emotion is one that doesn't make us feel good, that when we release the emotion, we also transform the thought or the belief that's connected to it. So the statement is, whenever I think about blank, I feel. For example, whenever I think about how I look, I feel. And then we would simply repeat our cue word, Shazam, 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 Shazam. What we're doing there is the beliefs that are inherent in the statement, whenever I think about how I look, are connected to emotions. And when we bring those up and highlight them for the unconscious mind, and then release them in the next section of the process, what we're doing is transforming the beliefs about how we feel about ourselves. So let me go through this with you, okay? Whenever I think about how I look, I feel. And simply repeat your cue. Shazam, 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 Shazam. All of the emotions concerning or connected to that particular statement are highlighted and brought up, although they may not be brought up to conscious awareness, but they will be brought up and highlighted on an unconscious level. And then we simply release those particular emotions. I clear all the ways I feel these feelings. Shazam, Shazam. I clear all the ways I feel these feelings because. I clear all the ways I feel these feelings whenever. I clear all the ways I may feel these feelings if. Shazam, 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 Shazam. And then we go in to release those parts of us that want to hold on to these feelings. And this is an important part. I clear all the ways hidden and other parts of me don't want to let these feelings go. Shazam, Shazam, Shazam. I clear all the ways these parts don't want to release these feelings because, repeating our cue word, I clear all the ways these parts get a benefit from holding on to these feelings. Shazam, Shazam, Shazam. I clear all the ways these parts wouldn't feel safe if I let these feelings go. Shazam, Shazam, Shazam. And then you just simply take a nice big breath and relax. And then you focus on whatever it was that caused you to be upset in the first place. And I can promise you that you will feel differently when you finish that. Okay, good. Now, what I'd like to talk about now is on what you can use this process for. So let's just take an example of someone. Perhaps he may have been very similar to me, and I can tell you here that as I was growing up as a very fearful person, I was very self-conscious, and I was always concerned with how people were viewing me. And if I was asked to stand up in class, or if I was asked to do anything, I would become extremely embarrassed and self-conscious. I had no self-confidence at all. Now, I want you to take a close look at me now, because you can see the difference for yourself. And those who know me and those who meet me now, it's like they're meeting a completely different person. And I feel like a different person inside. And it's because, quite literally, I've used this process to let go of my past. Now, that sounds a bit strange when I say it, perhaps, but in effect, what it is, when you let these feelings go, the way you used to feel, that 95% of you that is like the iceberg, when you release that stuff, you quite literally become a different person inside. Other people may look at you and they may remember what you look like, but the way you act and respond to situations is going to be different. And quite literally, where before I wouldn't allow myself to enjoy my life, to enjoy the little things that are happening in my life, where I would become stressed and upset when someone said this about me or someone said that about me, that no longer bothers me. It no longer concerns me. And it's because I have released those parts of me, those feelings connected to those beliefs or thoughts that say, you can't do this, you shouldn't do this, you just can't be the person that you want to be. And I know all of us have someone inside of us that we'd like to be. We perhaps carry that little image around all of our lives, but we can't seem to put it together. We can't seem to be that person that we'd really like to be. And I'm here to tell you right now that you can do this. It's not difficult. It's not rocket science. All you have to do is, every time you have a feeling that feels bad, when you feel it, it's connected to a disempowering thought, a thought that says, I can't. And all you have to do is focus on that feeling connected to that thought and release it using this process. It's not a difficult thing. So let's use an example, a real world example. Whenever I think about me, whenever I think about myself, I feel. And then simply repeat your cue word. As a matter of fact, follow along here for yourself. Whenever I think about me, I feel. And repeat your cue word to yourself, please. Shazam, shazam. I clear all the ways I feel these feelings. And repeat your cue, please. Just follow along. I clear all the ways I feel these feelings because. I clear all the ways I feel these feelings whenever. I clear all the ways I may feel these feelings if. I clear all the ways hidden and other parts of me don't want to let these feelings go. I clear all the ways these parts don't want to release these feelings because. I clear all the ways these parts get a benefit from holding on to these feelings. I clear all the ways these parts wouldn't feel safe if I let these feelings go right now. And just take a breath, please. Now, just focus on how you feel about yourself. Just perhaps close your eyes and relax and focus on how you feel about yourself. You may wish to say that first statement again. Whenever I think about myself, I feel. And just see if there's a change there. And if you find that you still have some feelings that you don't like, that don't feel good as you feel them and as you think them, do the statements again. It only takes a second or two. It only takes a minute. It doesn't take long. And just do it again. And feel good about yourself. And when you feel good about yourself, it changes everything in your life. Everything. It changes every aspect of your life. All of your relationships, your work, your ability to draw money to yourself even changes as you change your focus on yourself and the way you feel about yourself. Okay? Now, you'll find more information about the ZPoint process by going to www.zpointprocess.com. There are plenty of free things that you can download for yourself. I also have produced CDs that are downloadable. You can purchase them right there and then as you visit the website, dealing with releasing anger, releasing stress, physical issues, feeling good about yourself in a physical way, in an emotional way. And you're very welcome to take a look at the site and decide what would benefit you. I also do classes over the internet, and please pay special attention to postings on this on the website itself. You're welcome to join us anytime you wish. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me today, and I truly hope that you decide to use this process for yourself. Bye now.